Alright guys, this is Black Dragon, and today we're going to go into a very engaging Zerg vs Protoss between EGidra, and of course FXOdesbro, two really good players. Desbro, the very lovable Toss, always hard on himself, but always a very talented player, both top Grandmaster. Should be a really good one. You know, you've seen a lot of single gate openers coming back, deviating away from the Forge Fast Expand, only because the Zerg got into this really nice groove of just being able to jump into 3 bases and just macro like a boss pretty much. And you know that automatic, I guess, build order that just kind of got evolved from the meta. It was really making it difficult. The windows were getting smaller and smaller for the Protoss to really capitalize on that expand. Because essentially what's happening is the Toss is saying, you know, okay, I'm going to delay my attacks and just take this really, really fast expansion. You know, Zerg, in turn, just figured out the timings to where they could just take 3 bases, you know? And just having 3 hatcheries and all that larva potential is just making it really difficult for the Toss to kind of just have a safe third, and it turned into this 2-base versus 3-base situation. And you had some nice timings out of it, but you know, especially with the new expansion, that window just got really small to really punish that Zerg. That said, we do have a Forge Fast expand coming out. Probably going to drop a Nexus first. Doesn't see any pull, any 7 pulls, so can go ahead and just drop the Nexus. Going to follow it up with a Forge as well at 17. This is going to be finished off by a Gateway and then a Photon Cannon. That's going to stop any kind of pressure. If EGidra did make the tragic mistake of just sending a stream of Lings in, you could easily just wall this off and have a very, very hefty advantage. EGidra not getting pylon blocked, able to just drop the hatchery, which is a very good move. I feel like is the most efficient move for the Toss. If they just sit this probe here, dance it around, force him to make those initial Lings, you've done your job. He has to do the Queen Ling first and then drop the hatchery. Just slow down that 3-base, the inevitable 3-base production. Now, what's going to be the telltale story of this matchup is going to be the gases taken down over here at the natural. As you can see, EGidra, being the very good mechanical player he is, he's going to move this Overlord into a really good position. He's going to have vision on these gases, and based off these gases, it's going to tell EGidra exactly what's going on. And look at this. Able to fly one here, going to have another one to just check over the whole base to make sure there's a Nexus here. Going to check for some hidden Stargates. Going to have really good vision. If he forces Stalker production early to kill this, I'd say it's well worth it because he's delaying the Toss tech by so much that they have to warp in just a Stalker. As you can see, if we go over to the income production, we do have a nice lead by the Toss, and this is going to be normal because he has the 2 chrono boosting Nexus, able to both put out probes at a very fast rate, even faster than Zerg. Here comes Lings in to check out the wall. We do already have the Photon Cannon down, Cyber next core nearing completion. The wall off's almost done. Wisely just keep a small space in, which you actually want from Toss, because you don't have to kill off your own pylons or own structures just to get out of your base. See that mistake happen a lot. Over here in the Zerg base, we have EGidra going to his normal macro mode. He's a very macro-intensive player. I've seen him cheese from now and again, but going to keep it fairly solid. The one deviation he can make from the normal kind of 3-base build is either going the Hydra, Ling Roach. You've seen some players toy around with the new Swarm host. I'm not a fan yet. I feel like they do maybe need some different timings thrown in, some more experimentation. Due to their lack of mobility, it's just so easy to punish a Zerg player that goes with the Swarm host. We do have an interesting amount of Lings coming out. And what you're seeing a lot from players is, yes, here it comes, the few Zealots, Mothership Core, sometimes a Stalker thrown in as well in the mix just to boot. But you know, EGidra does have vision of it, and maybe he thinks the Overlord's still all the way over here. He does still have that nice vision, though, so he's able to see every unit that's coming out and can perfectly counter each unit. Per Zealot, you want about 3 Lings, which he has, the perfect composition for. For the Mothership Core, you want 1 Queen, which he has out as well. And then you have a Stalker, he's got another few Lings out to deal with it as well. What he doesn't want to do is what he's doing right now, possibly because he can maybe not kill them all and then has to build more Lings, which would be tragic, but able to get a nice round off, but has to pull back, unfortunately, produce some more Lings. 12 more now in production. Not the best use of larva, but doesn't really have an option because this mothership core is going to be able to do a lot of base damage, and the stalker able to kind of just kite around, especially without the ling speed. About halfway done at the moment. Oh no, Queen, little bit of a misrally right there, trying to pick up that one kill, but does lose another ling. And the thing with this is he does want to hurry up and just kind of kill these units. Because now he's producing so many Zerglings. He should have just made 10, 12 at the get-go, so we can just go ahead and go right back into drone production. Going over to that, you'll see now the TOS still does have a nice lead in pro production. Is able to drop a third base as well. And EGidra really needed to get up to about that 60 drone mark, and you'll see he's about 7 short of that because he had to produce all these lings. So because of that, he can't drop the Roach Warren in time if he wanted to do that third base denial kind of tactic. Instead, he's going to have to maybe go for a fourth, still on 2 gases. To drop a double Evo, looks like he's going for the Ling-centric kind of infestor Ling play against the TOS. Gonna have to drop a third very soon, though. Some nice vision going out over here. With the double gas, was taken about a normal time. Would indicate the quick third base kind of play. EGidra still on 3 bases. Not the best thing. He's got to work on this, and this is a problem we've seen with him. He just gets in this panic mode, and he's a macro player, but he's kind of afraid to get into this macro position. There's lots of sentries here. That's a lot of gas spent. It's okay to kind of concede the third at this point and just finally take his fourth. Just a hallucinated Phoenix going to be ignored. He has to move into the hive tech, and he's got a supply deficit now, and he's got these just random Ling run-bys going around. He's trying to gauge the army possibly, but damage done. You made you have a few too many Lings. Barring your opponent's terrible, you're not going to really be able to capitalize on that from an aggressive standpoint, so you have to switch almost back to this macro position. Because Colossus or your Templar production is almost inevitable. We do see a Spire dropping down as well. Going to go for the very new, untested Ling Muta. Not sure if I'm a fan. Most death balls of Colossus are going to be accompanied with Stalkers and Zealots. And Stalkers are going to keep the Lings off of the Colossus, and the Colossus are going to pretty much one-shot the Lings. And Muta is not going to be able to do too much damage, economic damage, but any kind of army engagement is going to be really difficult because the Stalkers do a lot of damage to the Mutalisk. Alright, 4th base up and running. Very good of EGidra, though, knows to get those gas geysers down right away. The 4th base is not about the minerals, but the gas. Players are quick to saturate the minerals in the 4th, but hardly ever just go right into the gas, and that's what you need moving into the hive tech. Of course, because I say that, hive tech not started yet, and you can start hive tech way too early, though. So, EGidra has played a lot of games, you can tell. If he started hive tech right now, he would just die. He would outright die to any push that comes out. Any kind of 3-base, Stalker, Blink Stalker, Colossus, you would just die because you wouldn't have the units out to really deal with any kind of push. As Zerg, he's in the defensive position now. He doesn't have that. He needs really like a 5-base kind of economy going before he can move into that full production. Because TOS is going to get maxed out near and just kind of maintain that death ball. And it's EGidra's job really now to fly around and hold. Does give away the mute attack. Nice. Takes out the mothership core. That's very significant. This is going to keep the TOS army back even more. Protoss and be able to skip a lot of... here come the... can they get a good surround right here? That'd be really huge to take out all these Stalkers. No, gets a nice blink off. Lone Colossus, though, that's a very expensive target. Does have a lot. Tons and tons of Phoenix able to push back this army. Slight supply lead by EGidra. And he's forcing warp-ins, though. It's almost the opposite of the early game we saw. Where the TOS was trying to make the Zerg build Zerglings. Well, now we have EGidra kind of forcing unit production. He's going to force the continued Phoenix production. Going to force the continued Chrono Boost on these Stargates. You know, if you notice though from EGidra, he almost completely quit making Mutalisk. Moving into Infestor production now. He kind of, a really good move here though, because now these Phoenix are essentially worthless. Oh, can he get a surround off? No. Can't focus fire. Ling getting picked up. No, they're not going to do enough damage though, and this is a really, really nice run by. And that's EGidra for you, really able to mess with his opponent's mind. You saw the continued chrono boost on the Stargates when really he needed more sentries. He's really able to keep his opponent off balance. Now throwing in some more Banelings, really just throwing his opponent off balance as Mutalisk, then quit building them completely. Almost use them as a, hey, you need to check this. So then you have Stalkers. You had slowdown on the Colossus, and you had to get some Phoenix out, which are now worthless. And then he's going to move into some Spore Collars as well, but he has excess minerals right now. And you'll see now every time he kind of flies in here, he has to do tons of damage to maintain pace. EGidra does have the supply lead. Going over to the income tab, does have the worker lead as well. 80 drones now, huge for the Zerg. He's going to start banking gas. You're going to see him move into a nice position, a nice bank of gas, because now he has to slowly kind of sacrifice parts of his army. And this is why a Ling composition is almost favored, because those Lings you can just throw away. Now he can turn them to Banelings. He can maybe snipe a Nexus, and then almost immediately just turn on that Tier 3 production. Now the question is he going to move into a Greater Spire or maybe Ultralisk? Ultralisk did have a burrow charge removed, unfortunately. I say unfortunately, but just had it removed from the initial builds of Heart of the Swarm. It was a little overwhelming for the opponents to deal with. These Infestors, though, are going to be very huge the entire game. If you can keep them alive. And I have to think, yeah, there's the Ultralisk Cavern almost nearing completion. He's moving into 3/3 Adrenal Glands as well. Adrenal Glands are awesome because they take out structures so stupidly fast. They make the Lings so cost-effective. All right, army moving out onto the creeps, going to be seen very easily. Now these Phoenix can be used to pick up the Infestors. We do have these Lings going in for a run by, possibly no, going for the direct engagement. We do have the Infestors all picked up. Not a very good move over here. Let's get a nice lockdown on. No, just 3 of them. He needs a little bit more of those fungals used. All these units being wasted. There's the good game. Amazing engagement by EGidra. That's why Ling Infestor not really being used that much. It's got so many vulnerabilities in the build. So many, EGidra maybe just trying to test some things out, but it just didn't work out for him. Some miscouting going on by EGidra. Some overreaction to the early pressure. And maybe some overdroning. He had the supply lead. He just kind of unable to really utilize that extra larva. Going to resources over here, you can really see nothing, because apparently I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But tons of idle larva, tons of idle larva, and he's not really able to do anything with it. You see him going to link production, and the problem with Lings against Toss is they're just really, they're really situational. The more Stalkers he has, and the more anything he has really in front of these Colossus, the Colossus are pretty much one-shotting the Lings at this point. Even with the upgrades they have, he's keeping par with upgrades. It doesn't matter because Lings are just not efficient versus Toss at all. And you see the problem. Even though he had double Stargate play early on, triple Stargate, he still was able to move out a very small ground army and just kill him easily. And that's floating, tons of minerals. So, not to take anything away from EGidra, but I just feel like EGidra maybe didn't have the right build, doesn't have the right timings down yet. I still feel personally that the Stefano style, whether you turn into an all-in or not, but just that the roaches just dictate like without a shadow of a doubt the pace of the game. Whereas those early mutas, they came in. I mean, he forced some warp ins, but it was really still EGidra's game to lose at that point. He could just macro up off of 3 bases and push, and there nothing could really contest him. Not before like 20-minute mark. A good play by EGidra. Nice to see him really getting into his groove. A very good player, and he's so modest.